All right, guys, let's turn this Erin Condren teacher planner into a homeschool planner for the 2025-2026 school year. So, hi, my name is Caitlin. I'm a homeschool mom. We are going into our 7th year of homeschooling. I've always used an Erin Condren planner, either the teacher planner or the homeschool planner. This year, I have the teacher planner, and I'm showing you how I modify it to make it a homeschool planner. So, we start off with this About Me area, and so I do fill out the top part. That part is still relevant to me. I've got some stuff covered up for personal information, but that part's already filled out. Then all of the events and volunteers and these pages that are specific to teachers and classrooms, I just wipe those out and put some washi tape over them and use them for my own types of lists. So right now, the only thing I'm going to be putting in there is a list of the requirements for our state. We live in Kentucky, and so I'm putting our Kentucky state requirements in here and just what we are supposed to do each year so that I have that a ready reference. At this current time, I'm not going to fill out the rest of those different blocks, and I'll just have those open if I think of things throughout the year. But really, there's a lot in the teacher planner, and even honestly, last year when I used the Erin Condren homeschool planner, there's a lot of pages that I just don't use. I have a lot of things recorded electronically or other different areas, and so I don't need to use those. But for this, I do like to have just our state requirements right there on that front page. So fill that out. And then the next page is the communication log in the teacher planner. I turn this into a reading log. So again, white out the stuff at the top and put some washi tape over it to make it cute. And then make a label, and you'll see me make one label. And then later when I do a flip through at the end, you'll see that I changed it because I wasn't happy with it. But we just use that to record our family read alouds. Now, I don't record each child individually. I just record us what we read together as a family. So my kids don't have a reading log for what they read on their own, just what we read together. Then on this large overview, I use these little circle dots to mark our co-op days. We do classical conversations, so it's not actually co-op. We call them community days, but people understand co-ops a little more clearly, and so that's what I usually say. But anyway, we already have our schedule for next year, so right now I'm just marking what days we'll have our CC community days next year. And then I'm obsessed with the Olympics, and so I went ahead and put the Olympics in there for the winter because I will plan a unit study around that, and so I like to have that in there. Then this page right here that has the 12 different empty boxes that used to be labeled with the months, and it's not anymore, which I really like because it gives it more versatility. But I use this to track our curriculum by subject. So I'll track our curriculum by child somewhere else. Usually I keep that on my phone, actually, but this is just those Kentucky requirements you saw me writing down earlier. This is just so I can kind of put on there, yes, each of my kids did math, and here's what they did. Yes, each of my kids did history, and here's what they did. I can just kind of track this to make sure that we're covering all of our subjects. Now, the bell tracker, I don't really have a thing to use for that yet, and so for now, that's new this year to the teacher planner. For now, I'm just leaving it. Now I'm switching to the back for a bit, and I'm going to fill out our attendance tracker. So this is in the back of the teacher planner. There's like a million of these pages that are for grades or attendance if you're a teacher. For us, I use one page for attendance, and I just track our whole family together. I don't track each child individually, but I just fill this out with 31 blanks down the side and the months across the top, and I just put checks for the days that we do school. So it's a really easy way to keep attendance. And then this part right here is what takes me the longest each year when I set up my planner, but it's really important to me, and that is making a yearly overview calendar. So this is bigger than that one that Erin Condren includes that just has the little dates where you saw me putting the circles, but it's where I can see each month at a glance, and I have enough space in these little squares that I can write something really small. And I use this kind of to track, I use it as my rough plan. So I don't plan a ton in advance, but I use this to kind of mark, okay, if we start school on whatever day in August, then roughly where do we want our quarter of the year to be? Where would our half of the year be? 3/4, the end of the year. I'll mark days that I know we're going to be out for vacations and things. I can just kind of quickly plan out the whole year at a glance. And I will not do this in this video because I don't have all of our curriculum for next year yet, but closer to time, I will sit down with our curriculum and I'll say, okay, math, there are, let's say, 150 lessons. So how many do we want to have done by our quarter of the year mark? How many by our half of the year mark? How many at our 3/4? And I do the same with our language arts, and it just sort of keeps me on track. And at each of those milestones, I'm able to look and see, like, are we where we're supposed to be with our curriculum? Are we behind? Are we ahead? Whatever. And I really like having this at a glance calendar. And so I can kind of just see everything. And this is just my yearly overview. So this is something that I do. And I use these tracker sheets at the back to set up these calendars. Yes, I have to draw everything out, but I really like this. In case you're wondering for your own self, I do this 15 little blanks high and 14 wide. Yes. And so then each little square is like a 2x3 square. So if you're wanting to make them yourself and you don't want to do the math, that's how we do the math there. So I set this up, and you won't see me do the whole entire calendar. I turned the video off because it took a really long time, and I did the rest of the months. But at the end, when I do my flip through, you'll see kind of how I do all of the calendar days on there, so that you can see if that's something that you want to do for yourself. It really is something that helps me out a lot, and so I do this every single year. So after this, I'm now using the date stickers that come with the teacher planner, and there's like a million different holidays and other dates on there. So I just picked the few that I wanted, like first day of spring, first day of autumn, the different seasons, daylight savings time, some of the holidays, especially if my husband's going to be off work. But I don't want like a million holidays on there. So I only did a few of them, but I do like how they include that. So you can pick the ones that you're interested in and then leave off the ones that do not have any relevance to you or you don't need or whatever. And so anyway, so I took a few minutes and put those in there. And then I again pulled up our calendar for our CC year and went ahead and put in there the days that we have our community days, so that I can go ahead and be planning that. So for now, that's about this. I'm recording this in the beginning of June, and that's about all that I'm ready to plan or put into the calendar. So other than our CC director sending out our schedule, and so knowing what dates we have CC, other than that, I don't know. I don't know when we'll start school officially in August. I don't know what curriculum we're using totally. I have some of it purchased and some of it I'm still trying to decide on, or I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. And so later, when it gets closer to time, I'll sit down again and I'll do more planning as far as like the first day of school, quarter mark, half mark, like I was talking about, and doing kind of my curriculum map. But for now, this is just trying to get the basics done, and then I'll set it aside for the summer and pick it back up in a month or two when I'm ready to do that. So here is a quick flip through of everything that I did to get it set up. For right now, you can see there the read alouds. I switched it from where I had reading log. This is just kind of what it looks like. This is how I've now turned the teacher planner into my homeschool planner. I have a lot of pages, like I said, I don't really use, not for the teacher planner or the homeschool planner. And so for now, those are blank. I'll see if there's something I want to do with those later, but this is what it looks like. And it is basically now all set up and ready to go for me to start us in our school year in August. And here you can see some of the rest of those calendar pages that I did off camera. That's what it looks like.